This week I realized that I have a constant battle that comes up every once in a while with this feeling of wanting to create content that gives you the freedom to be who God has called you to be. And yet, there's many times where I'm dealing with an internal struggle of my own. That internal resistance that rises up whenever you do something that is beyond yourself, or you begin to pursue something that you believe you were destined to. And as I navigate those emotions, I struggle with the difficulty of rising up to the occasion, and even with the final product being released from my hands, at times wondering if I did a good job or will it have an impact? Have you ever felt the same? You see, the whole purpose of everything that this is to help you to have the freedom to be who God has called you to be. In order for me to help you to be who God has called you to be, I have to freely be who God has called me to be. And so that has meant that He has dealt with me in so many ways. You see, I want to give you the freedom to be fully yourself, or I want to be a component of your story that helps you to be freely yourself, regardless of whether you were truly accepted or not, and give you the strength to explore your pain even. And so in order for me to do that, I must first do so myself. I have to be able to take the steps first, and wow, it can be grueling sometimes. It can be so difficult to navigate emotion in a world that constantly tells you to not have them. It can be so difficult to navigate sadness in a world that looks at you weird when you're dealing with it yourself. It can be the hardest thing in the world to navigate imposter syndrome when everybody else looks like they've got it together. It can be so difficult to believe in yourself when it feels like others don't believe in you. And so I've had to step into a place where I start to begin to understand both who I am and who God says I am, and how those things match up or not. I've had to make decisions. I've had to choose to step beyond things that I held on to so strongly in my life because I felt they were necessary for my survival. And so every day I have to forsake the spears of doubt that hold me down, thrown by all of those people who rejected me, planting me in the fields of I must be this way to be loved. I must not be too deep. I must not get too excited. I must perfectly execute the dance of just below too much and just above too little. But I'm slowly starting to realize that in order for my feet to walk where my heart dreams, I have to let my heart heal, and I have to let all of these things that live as truths in my mind go. You see, many of us will spend our whole lives avoiding the mirror of our pain, because it is one of the most difficult things to look into. And while our heart cries out for healing that we cannot attain by our own strength, our heart yearns for the healing that only God can provide, we continue to rely only on ourselves. And as we press in deeper to the Holy Spirit's presence, we realize just how faulty that is. Even going into God's presence can be oh so difficult, because how do you see me at my weakest and call me as if I were strong. God, where does your grace truly lose its reach? Am I actually too broken? I long for the peace that true rest provides. And in all my longing, I struggle to be still. God, I know that your love for me calls me out of my bandaged, clothed home. But it can be so hard to heal at times. Will you do this heart work? God, will you make this heart work? It's been so long. It's been a struggle. I'm tired of making this heart work.